So now that there is alert level 3 up over the areas, please tell us which areas are on alert level 3, rather.
So at alert level 3, the areas within the 6-kilometer radius from the danger zone must be evacuated. We're talking about communities, most specifically or more preponderant on the northern flank of the volcano. And this is mainly by the the city of Tabaco, Malinport, Bakakay, and Digao. And then we have a few communities in the other areas, like in Kamalig, Daraga, Legazpi City, Santo Domingo. But most of the evacuees will come from Tabaco City.
And is it imminent that the alert level will be raised to 4?
No, technically we already have an eruption because when we have pyroclastic density currents on Mayon Volcano, this means that new lava, juvenile lava, which is from a new intrusion in the Mayon edifice, is already coming out. It's not like rockfall, which can be pre-existing lava that's being pushed out and collapsing and rolling and bouncing down the slopes as competent or hard rock, no? Like fragments. Pyroclastic density currents are from very hot and new magma, which actually transforms the magma actually comminutes is the term, or it becomes pulverized into fine ash and rock fragments and volcanic gas, and transports as a flow down the volcano. And this is the most dangerous volcanic hazard in my.
Miss Mariton, would it be safe to say or to assume, I know volcanoes are unpredictable, but the fact that we are having an effusive eruption, will this mean that, lessen the chances of an explosive eruption? Yung parang one time, big time, like what we saw in Mount Pinatubo in 1991.
If you look at the behavior of Mayon Volcano and you compare it to the other eruptions in the past, specifically the 2023, the pattern is practically the same. We have the dome growth. This is the very sticky or already hardened lava, the mouth of the volcano that's just growing or becoming taller as time goes by. And then we have the increase in rockfall activity, like in 2022,
So,
prior to the eruption. And so if you look at that eruption, it's practically the same. So we are expecting more of the effusive type of.
Mariton, I suppose the real question is the worst over?
Not really. Mayon, the difference between 2023 and now is that in now we have precursory long-term ground deformation that we didn't have in 2023. This means that there is pressurization within the volcano since June 2024, arising from magma that's being intruded from deep within the volcano, which we did not detect in 2023. The 2023 eruption began practically with no anomaly shown by the volcano, but this time there was. So there is always this chance that we can see that magma that's trying to intrude at very great depths suddenly accelerate and produce a more explosive eruption. But looking at the parameters today, currently, we see no sign of that happening. But again, we don't know tomorrow or the next months.
Since it's raining in the area, there is more possibility of lahar flow?
Yes, there could be possible minor and channel confined lahars on the southern sector of the volcano, no? Specifically in the rivers draining the Bonga Gully. And we are talking about the Bayuan Padang drainage systems, the Mabinit Bonga drainage system. Because right now, in the past few months, most of the lahars have occurred on the southwestern flank of the volcano in the town of Ginobatan, which are generated by extreme rainfall, mobilizing older material. We're talking about 50-year-old and even older material on that part of the volcano. So, but now we have new material, fine ash, on the southern slopes, and that could occasion a few minor lahars.
Well, Mariton residents within the 6-kilometer danger zone have been required already to evacuate. Gaano ba ka-critical na sila ay umalis na within that area? And is there also a possibility for lava flow?
Well, definitely, we are expecting this activity to mature into lava flow activity. And I think the only wild card is, will we have lava fountaining as well, which is a mildly explosive, effusive eruption. And if that's the case, there is always a possibility that we can also have minor explosions. No? So, what was the other question aside from the
So how critical is it for residents to evacuate already? And even to nearby provinces, katulad ng Sorsogon, are you also warning them already to brace themselves for possible impact?
So right now, it's really important for our barangays and communities within the 6-kilometer PDZ to evacuate, because we don't know what will happen tomorrow or the next week. No? And it's better to be safe from the eruption rather than risk being caught in one and then having to flee to safety. No? As for our the nearby provinces or the surrounding provinces of Albay, there is a possibility that we can experience ash, especially if we have a stronger eruption, minor explosive eruption, or a continuous PDC or rockfall that can, and then we have strong wind. No? So the ash can be blown to nearby provinces like Masbate or Sorsogon. And so it's much better to be prepared with face masks. And of course, the issue really in times like this are yung agricultural land of when crops are ready to be harvested, etc.
Right,
There should-
Mariton. So I wanted to go back to Cecil's question about the lahar flows and which towns. You mentioned southwest. So just to check the southwest towns that will be most affected by possible lahar flows, kasi Pag-asa said that it's going to be a rainy first quarter. Would that be Daraga, Kamalig, and Ginobatan? Which towns would have to keep an eye out for these possible lahar flows?
Okay, so we have perennial lahar problems in Ginobatan, whether we have this eruption or not, during extensive rainfall. But with this eruption, we are expecting additional channels in Legazpi City, particularly the Bonga Mabinit and the Buyuan Padang channels to be affected. And possibly if we have PDCs in the Miisi Gali, some communities along the Binaan and the Miisi rivers going through Daraga municipality to be affected.
Okay.
And Mariton, what are some of the factors naman that you will consider to lower the alert level over Mayon?
Okay, so if we already see an end to the anomaly, for example, if we see a prolonged decrease until cessation of certain activity, like the cessation of rockfall or pyroclastic density currents, and then we have a return to the baseline or the background level of ground deformation. And we observe this for a period of time, like for a month, then we can bring the alert level down.
Now, if we can move to the two other volcanoes, can we have an update on Canlaon in Negros?
You mean we are actually monitoring, we have actually 4 volcanoes at alert. Canlaon volcano in Negros Island Beach has experienced degassing, ash emission this morning for nearly 3 hours. more than 3 hours. And ash is blown to the southwest again, as usual. Canlaon has been at alert level 2 since July last year, coming down from alert level 3. We are not changing the alert level at all in Canlaon, even though we have the short-term decreases in sulfur dioxide emission because the long-term trends of particularly the volcanic earthquake activity, ground deformation, and sulfur dioxide emission indicate that the volcano is preparing for a major eruption. And it is to be expected that we will have this short-term decreases in activity, but the long-term, it's still at unrest, and we are still anticipating that there will be a major eruption for Canlaan. So let us not, as we have communicated time and again to our local government units and our DRR comrades in Negros Island region, let's not
Not to let our guard down.
to let our guard down
Right.
when we see these short-term decreases in monitoring parameters. For Bulusan Volcano, it has been in a bit of quiescence. And at Taal, we've had some minor phreatomagmatic eruptions in the past month. So we are still both at alert level 1 in Taal and in Bulusan Volcano.
All right, all the volcanoes, we got an update. Thank you so much, Mariton Bornas, Chief of Volcano Monitoring and Eruption Prediction Division of PHIVOLCS.